Hi, it's Jamie Heiberger here to talk today about co-op and condo tax abatements. For those of you who are not aware, co-op condo tax abatements is a program available to co-ops and condos or any class 2 property in New York. Generally speaking, all of the buildings, any co-op and condo that you'd be doing a deal in will qualify for a co-op. It means that the building has applied to the City of New York for reduction of taxes. How it works with co-ops is different than how it works with condos. A couple of key points to keep in mind is that if the building has a 421A tax abatement, a J51 tax, a Chalama program, if it's part of the HDFC, they will not qualify for a co-op condo tax abatement. Additionally, LLCs do not qualify for co-op condo tax abatements, nor do persons that do not occupy the premises as their primary residence. Trusts generally don't qualify. However, a trust can qualify for the co-op condo tax abatement so long as the unit is owned by a trust only if the person that is the beneficiary of the trust is living in the unit. Under those circumstances, the trust can qualify to be a recipient of the tax abatement. Now, in order to qualify, in order to be able to apply, the unit owner or the shareholder must apply for the abatement before February of, say, this year. You would have had to have closed by January 5th of this year, and then you apply for the abatement in February. The application is fairly simple. It used to be that buildings had to apply directly. These days, if your building is not applying for the co-op condo tax abatement, you as the unit owner can put in your own application. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. When you're representing somebody that's purchasing in a co-op or condo, you want to be very careful. Number one, you want to go to the Department of Finance website, put in the block and lot if it's a condo, put in the block and lot of the building if it's a co-op, look at the most recent tax bill. On that tax bill, you're going to see, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen, you will see whether or not there are any abatements on the building. Now, immediately, if you know that there's a 421A tax abatement or any other abatement on the building, you automatically know that this building cannot have the co-op condo tax abatement. On that note, something I've been asked a lot lately, what's going to happen when the 421A abatement expires on the building that your client's looking at, that your client lives in? What are the taxes going to be? Now, first of all, and I would say this to every broker and everyone out there, you do not want to represent what the taxes are going to be at the expiration of a 421A tax abatement. There is a schedule of what the taxes will be. It's laid out, and you can get that through the HBD website, but that's based upon what was done when the developer sponsor first applied, or the building owner first applied for the abatement. And so it may not take into account renovations that were done once they've already qualified for the abatement, and it won't necessarily take into account the changes in the assessments, changes in how the market value is being determined for the particular building. As such, it's really a risky thing to give a number as to what the taxes will be. Most of the time, it would be a reduction of the whole building, and for a condo, it's going to be the individual units themselves. So what does that mean? That means that an individual unit owner, their taxes would be reduced by 17.5%. Keep in mind, however, most buildings do issue an assessment to offset the abatement, even in condominiums. So even if the abatement is getting credited to an individual unit owner, most of the time you're going to find that the building is going to assess for the exact amount of the abatement to offset it. Last point, and then we're going to go, is an additional point often missed. Buildings frequently penalize non-qualifying unit owners or shareholders if they do not qualify for the abatement. Generally speaking, we're talking about people that own as pet-a-terres, don't occupy as their primary residence, or own as an LLC or a trust. Generally, those are the areas where they're not going to qualify. The other way that they're not going to qualify is you can only own 3 units in the building and must occupy 1 as your primary residence in order to qualify. That's it for today. Co-op and condo tax abatements. If you have any questions, please reach out to me directly. Have a good day.